So this is the actual Palestine. And
your digs. Swanky.
Yeah. It's not a great hotel, by the way. It was never great.
I don't know. It was pretty good from here.
The room service was terrible, very slow. The food was...
This is the only place you get this on your tour. Room service at the Palestine Hotel in Baghdad was terrible in 2003. Okay. What was your typical order?
I kept talking to the chef. I was saying, look, there's war here. We could all be dead tomorrow, and you're making the same meal every night.
What was the same meal? What was the meal?
Spaghetti with tomato sauce.
Oh, well.
And I thought, come on.
Get your vitamin C.
This could be our last meal.
Yeah.
Every day, spaghetti with tomato sauce.
What did he say?
I was going to kill myself. So,
do you have any options, though? I mean, it's not like you could get...
His heart wasn't really in it at the time. I think he was distracted. Yeah. Should we go in?
Yeah, let's go in.
Okay.
All right, there we go. We are going up to the balcony, but there's been a power outage, so we're walking, and I'm using a cell phone light, which makes me look like Bela Lugosi.
So is this the ghost story?
This is the ghost story. You've got him if anybody does. All right, here we go.
You asked about the Palestine Hotel getting shot by the Americans?
Yeah.
You see where it's damaged up there in the top corner? Right there on the left side. That's from that's the tank shell.
That's from the tank shell.
The reporters who were killed were in that room. They were on that balcony when the tank shell hit.
I don't want you to talk about this if you don't want to, but we were talking about telling ghost stories on the way up here. I mean, you were here at a time that it was very dangerous to be a journalist here. Obviously, people were killed in that room that we can see here, but your life was also in danger when you were here.
No doubt. I mean,
you had close calls.
I had close calls, and this phase was dangerous because there were bombs falling out of the sky. There was chaos in the streets. The Americans were shooting at things. We had no coordination with the Americans. So that was dangerous. But it was almost like the kind of danger a storm chaser might face. Mm-hmm. It wasn't directed at me. It was just chaos. And if you had to be unlucky for something to come and hit you.
Right.
Afterwards,
after the initial invasion, after you left here.
Because the society broke down, the country went into civil war, and then journalists, because we had vehicles, we had money, we were hunted.
Yeah.
So that was worse because we felt like prey.
Well,
there were carjackings. I almost got carjacked, and we had to jump over the center divider and drive in oncoming traffic.
Why were journalists targeted? Just because you had access to resources, or specifically because of your profession?
No, I think it was more because we had access to resources, and we were out. We were relatively, easy prey because we moved around.
Yeah.
If you're a contractor and the security situation's bad, they just say, well, security situation's bad, you're not going to visit your contracting site. We were out every day, moving around.
And going toward trouble, not away from trouble in order to cover it.
And so, why not?
Yeah.
Grab them.
Richard, being at the Palestine Hotel now, as combat operations are ending, do you feel nostalgic? Do you feel bad being here? How do you feel about it?
It is. So much has transpired for me personally, for this country, since I was first here. I almost feel like I'm a different person.
Yeah.
I have a theory that you go through 4 stages of stress that are like almost stages of being. First one is when I first got here. I was hard charging. I thought this is going to be, big deal. This is an important journalistic event. I'm Superman. Nothing can happen to me. I'm invincible. Nothing can happen to me. Then, maybe after the first year, when you see other people getting hurt, getting killed, kidnapped, you start to realize, hey, something could happen to me here.
Yeah.
And you become more cautious, more wary, and you feel vulnerable. Then, after a while, it just adds up, and you see lots of people getting hurt and lots of people getting killed.
Lots of people who are doing the same kind of stuff that you're doing.
Friends.
Yeah. People who you don't think are getting hurt because they're dumb.
Exactly. And you start to think, not something could happen to me. You think, something probably is going to happen to me. Math is adding up against me. Mm-hmm. And then, in the worst 4th stage, you become maybe fatalistic. You think, well, it's just a matter of time. I'm going to die out here. And I've gone through all 4 different stages. And then you go through them. So if in the worst days I thought, all right, well, it's just a matter of time. Today's going to be it. And then you go back to maybe something, probably is going to happen to me, or something maybe could happen to me. I'm comfortable now. I'm probably in the stage 2. But I've moved into different.
Just this year, just on my show, just in stuff that we've talked about, you've been in Mogadishu, you've been obviously in Afghanistan, you're back here at a not particularly safe time. Does that, you go back and forth between them in terms of how much danger you feel?
Yeah. And it's not it's not necessarily the places, it's what you do, and it's who's looking for you. Because you can go into a dangerous place. Like, you're here, you're going to be in and out, we're moving around. I'm taking you, hopefully, to places that I know. That's okay. It's when you're there for a long time. It's
people
time
get
that
used to you, and people want to seek you out.
That's what gets you. You can get away with almost anything twice, but if you keep going back again and again, it's going to hurt you.
It's going to hurt you. Are these...
So this is it. This is where we were. These little bays right here. You can see these little cutouts. This is where the cameras were.
Okay.
And looking, actually, I can tell you, my exact camera was here, and pointing right there.
And that was the Saddam statue.
That was the Saddam statue. So there were a few hundred people in this square. There are Americans rolling up to it. This is about to be a big moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't take a lot to figure that out. But there were snipers still in this building. And there were militants running up and down the streets.
So you're in an incredibly vulnerable spot if there's people shooting from there.
They were shooting from there.
You're basically targets in a shooting gallery.
Yeah, there's a very... And then you have the Americans that have shot from that way.
Yeah.
And I talked about cement falling on my head. They shot right there. And then...
So you can see the damage to the hotel up there. That cement came this way onto this roof.
Exactly, because the shot was from that way. And so there were snipers in this building. The Americans were moving up here. Half of the city had already fallen.
Yeah.
So it was a very chaotic time. But I still think the more dangerous period and the more psychologically taxing wasn't those very intense 21 days or so of the shock and awe period, the invasion. It was then the 7 years of being hunted down and all the car bombings. We almost lost people, NBC, in this circle.
I remember the giant cement truck bomb that went
targeted
off here, right here.
Yeah, right here. Right. You see where that palm tree is?
Yeah.
Right there. So, yeah, it has been, and what has gone on in this country has been a revolution.
Yeah.
You know, from dictatorship to
an unfinished
this multi-party system to what will happen next.
That was NBC's Richard Engel back at the Palestine Hotel in downtown Baghdad, from which he covered the initial invasion of this country, the toppling of the Saddam statue by a small group of revenge-minded Shiites and a very well-equipped group of U.S. Marines in the spring of 2003.